Sheryl Green is a New York native, now living and thawing in Las Vegas since 2008. After years of comfort zone quicksand and a devastating divorce, Sheryl found herself in a deep depression. A self-described sad ass, she used volunteerism and a variety of other tools to lift herself out and discover the superhero inside. A radio host, published author, and accomplished Toastmaster, Sheryl is a passionate animal advocate and the Director of Communications and Cuddling for Hearts Alive Village. I want that job. An animal rescue in Las Vegas. Inspired by a special service dog named Pele, Sheryl founded Paw It Forward Las Vegas, an annual community event to inspire people to get involved and support animal rescue and to be a voice for those who cannot speak. She has also won numerous speaking awards, sits on a number of nonprofit boards, and has held a variety of leadership positions. She has more than 15 years experience in customer service, 6 years in mental health and education, and 5 years in the nonprofit world. She brings a unique blend of experience and insight to her clients. Sheryl approaches life and speaking with humor and heart. She'll make you laugh, cry, and embrace your own superpowers. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Sheryl Green.
What color is your cape? I want you to think back to a time when you were a little kid and you were a superhero. Maybe you were Superman or Wonder Woman, but you were strong and brave, and you knew that you could take on the world. You could accomplish anything. I was Supergirl. I used to put on my tights, put on my little Supergirl PJs, put on my cape, and I would fly through the house rescuing my stuffed animals from the river of lava that flowed around. I knew that I could accomplish absolutely anything. But then life gets in the way. Something happens that makes you forget just how incredibly powerful you truly are. Maybe it was settling into a job or a relationship that wasn't quite right. Maybe it was being diagnosed with an illness. Maybe it was even losing a loved one. For me, it was a phone call and 4 words. I'm in big trouble. My husband had been arrested for a felony, and my world crumbled underneath me. I had identified myself for the last 7 years as a loving and devoted wife. And now, I was leaving my husband, losing my home, and traveling halfway across the country to escape the news vans that were outside of my house every morning, cameras in my face, trying to make my private shame public. I was 28 years old and living in my parents' spare bedroom. The depression was so intense that I didn't know how to get out of bed in the morning. Never mind go look for a job or new friends. I had no idea who I was anymore. I remember the day that my stepmom came home and found me lying on the bathroom floor in the fetal position, tears streaming down my face onto the cold tile. She helped me up, looked me in the eye, and said, "Sheryl, this isn't you." Of course, she was right, because that little Supergirl, that little superhero was still alive inside of me. I just had to find her. Now, I took many steps on my progression from sad ass to badass. Would it be okay if I shared some of those with you today?
Sure.
I had to accept responsibility. I had to embrace my fears. And I had to rescue others. Now, I read a couple of self-help books while I was going through my divorce. All right, I see the faces. I read every self-help book. But one of them stuck out because it cautioned the reader against ever identifying yourself as a victim. Because when you call yourself a victim, when you say that life has happened to you, you take away your power. When you accept responsibility for what has happened, then you're able to change your future. I was not at fault for my husband's crimes, but I was responsible for ignoring the red flags that kept popping up. What are you not taking responsibility for in your life? Next, I had to embrace my kryptonite, face my fears. What are you afraid of? Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's quitting a not so great job and going out and starting your own business. Maybe it's even leaving a toxic relationship. I was afraid of all of those and more. But we don't get over our fear by talking about it or by thinking about it. We get over it by taking action. And when you do, wonderful things happen. What fears do you need to face? What actions do you need to take today? Please wait until we're all done speaking, though. Finally, and this one actually surprised me. I had to rescue others. I had to help someone else. Now, a lot of people have this as part of their happy and healthy life plan. First, you get your ducks in a row, you get your life on track, and then you can go and help others. This seems a little bit backwards to me. Kind of like, not going to the gym until you've lost weight and look better in spandex. Superheroes don't wait until they're perfect to start rescuing. We shouldn't either. Through my pain, I learned that I am a badass animal rescuer. And for every furry little life that I saved, they saved me right back. But maybe animals aren't your thing. Maybe you want to rescue children or the homeless. Or maybe like my stepmom, you just have to help somebody up that you love. Are you ready to be superheroes?
Yes.
Yes. Once you accept responsibility, once you embrace and face your fears, and once you help others, you can answer the question, what color is my cape?